play you're about to see is based on the trial of a murder case and treats the facts of violent death as frankly as they were treated in the original court. Details of the trial have been condensed from contemporary sources, but scenes outside the courtroom are a mixture of fact and conjecture. Amelia Elizabeth Dyer, alias Thomas, alias Harding, alias Smith, alias Stanfield, Old Mother Dyer, baby farmer extraordinary, who pleaded guilty to the murder of 2 infants entrusted to her care, but who was undoubtedly responsible for the deaths of many others, possibly as many as 70 or 80 over the course of the 15 years during which she lived by her own peculiar cottage industry. Mother Dyer was hanged on June the 10th, 1896, only yards from the spot here. On this site, now occupied by the Central Criminal Court, stood once the infamous Newgate Jail. To our Victorian forefathers, she was quite simply a monster, a murderess for gain and greed, a hypocrite who used religion as a shield. Because she pleaded guilty, the prosecution evidence against her was never tested, never challenged. Accused with her in the first place, but later discharged, was her son-in-law, while the principal witness against her own daughter, Polly. Family business or family carve-up? Well, who can tell?
Everything to God in prayer.
What a friend we have in Jesus, all our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. All because we do not carry everything to God in prayer.
Put up, Amelia Elizabeth Dyer.
Come along now, there's a dear. Time to go upstairs.
What do you mean upstairs? I'm going downstairs. Here's to you, Charlie Peace. Can you hear me? I'm coming to join you, Charlie Peace. I'm coming to join you down below. Me gin, give us me gin, give us me mother's ruin.
Prison regulations. Contain yourself. Remember your circumstances.
Now be a good soul and try to behave. If only she was allowed to speak in court, they'd know she was mad.
Mr. Justice Hawkins, eminent enough in his field, but a somewhat trying version of the judicial humorist. For the prosecution, Mr. A.T. Lawrence, QC, and for the defense, Mr. Capadia and Mr. Linford.
Put up Amelia Elizabeth Dyer. Are you Amelia Elizabeth Dyer?
The gentlemen of the press, who have already tried, convicted, and as good as hanged her, and for good measure credited her with a substantial bank balance which never existed, and published details of her previous convictions for baby farming. May Ann Palmer, known as Polly, the star witness for the prosecution, who has turned Queen's evidence against her mother while helping to clear her husband, Arthur Ernest Palmer, an unemployed commission agent, of the same charges. Arthur Ernest has been rearrested, tried, and has served a short sentence for willfully abandoning a child at Temple Meads railway station. What a charming fellow.
Mr. Capadia, I understand that you have an application to make before the prisoner is arraigned.
My lord, I have. The facts of this case are not in dispute. The only issue with which I need to trouble your lordship is the issue of the prisoner's state of mind. My client pleads guilty, but insane.
Very well, Mr. Capadia. Let a jury be empaneled to try that issue.
The simple rustic watermen, having consumed their simple rustic waterman's luncheon, decided to devote some part of their afternoon to the innocent pursuit of angling. And, gentlemen of the jury, what was to be their first catch of the afternoon? Pike, a tench, a humble stickleback? No. It was to be a prize far more bizarre than any one of those. To be precise, a brown paper parcel, deposited in the shallow water which runs between the deep water channel and the towing path. One of the watermen put out his punt hook and caught hold of the parcel. And as he did so, gentlemen of the jury, the wet paper tore. And from that wet and sodden bundle protruded the most piteous relic, a lifeless infant's tiny leg. And on the brown paper, which formed that hapless baby's winding sheet, were clearly inscribed the name Mrs. Harding, one of the many aliases, gentlemen of the jury, under which the prisoner carried on her infamous trade, and also her address, at which, until quite recently, the prisoner, her daughter, and her son-in-law had lived.
Amazing. The prisoner leaves her autograph on her very victim. No doubt Mr. Capadia will argue that that fact in itself points towards his client's insanity.
My lord, had the prisoner not, by her plea of guilty, made such a course impossible, one could have argued that certain other parties were seeking to exculpate themselves and shift the blame.
I'm sorry, Mr. Capadia, that is not a proper comment, as you recognized. But it was I who invited it. I will blame myself and exculpate you.
I'm much obliged to your lordship.
Yes, Mr. Lawrence.
The deceased infant was later identified as Helena Fry, aged 15 months, the daughter of a domestic servant working in Bristol. The prisoner, a native of that fair city, had plainly maintained connections within the area. One can only speculate on the type of those connections. Connections which indicate the deep criminality presently rife among certain sections of our society. A post-mortem examination revealed that the cause of death was strangulation. A piece of tape was fastened around the deceased infant's tiny neck and tightly knotted beneath the left ear, in what, so I am told, is sometimes known in vulgar parlance as a hangman's knot. The day after the River Thames gave up its gruesome secret at Caversham Lock, the prisoner travelled to Cheltenham. There she received from an unmarried mother, Miss E. Marmon, the sum of £10 and her little baby Doris, aged 4 months. Is your name Evelina Edith Marmon?
Yes, sir.
And you are a femme sole, are you not? Come, madam, are you married or single?
I'm single, sir. If I'd been married, I'd never have let my baby go.
There's no need to make a meal of it, Mr. Lawrence. This can hardly be the happiest day or the most pleasant in this young lady's life. Miss Marmon, would you prefer to be seated?
Thank you, my lord. I prefer to stand.
Yes, Mr. Lawrence.
On the 21st of January last year, did you give birth to an infant daughter?
Yes, sir. Beautiful baby girl.
And were you in the position to make a proper home for her?
No, sir. Well, I did all I could for her, sir. I had her baptised in the Church of England. Doris, I called her. I made her all her baby clothes. Some I sewed and some I knitted. But I knew it wouldn't be any sort of proper life for her, sir. Growing up as a... I mean, the world's a cruel enough place as it is.
Would you care for a glass of water, Miss Marmon?
Thank you, my lord. I'm very sorry.
Try not to distress yourself, my dear. We're all men of the world in this court. We are not here to condemn you. I myself am confident that you would sought nothing but the best for your child. Yes, Mr. Lawrence.
I'm much obliged to your lordship. Tell me, Miss Marmon, how it was you first made contact with the prisoner?
I read an advertisement, sir, in the Bristol News.
And is that the same advertisement? A couple having no child would like the care of one or would adopt one, terms £10.
Yes, sir. It was something like that.
And did you answer the advertisement?
Yes, sir. And then Mrs. Harding, well, I took that to be her name. She wrote back. She wrote several times. Such beautiful letters.
Yes. Well, to cut a long, sad story short, did you finally come to agreement with this so-called Mrs. Harding?
Yes, sir. I was to give Mrs. Harding £10. and she was to give my baby a mother's loving, tender care until such...
And did Mrs. Harding duly collect the baby and the £10?
Yes, sir. She come all the way to Cheltenham to collect her, on the Great Western Railway.
You see the woman who collected your child and your money. Do you see her in this court today?
Yes, sir. Prisoner, there in the dock.
Miss Barman, do you recall the prisoner having anything with her, any luggage or baggage or impedimenta of any kind when she came to collect the baby?
Yes, sir. She had a large carpet bag.
Miss Marmon, I shall endeavour not to detain you longer or to distress you further, but one last question. You told my lord and the jury that you made your baby's clothes with your own fair hands.
I did, sir.
My lord, a quantity of baby's clothing was subsequently recovered by police officers from various pawnbrokers in the Reading area. The pawn tickets were traced to the prisoner's home. Miss Marmon, can you identify that gun?
Yes, sir. It's my baby's cloak. I sewed it for her. But where's my baby? My baby, my baby.
I had to fetch you, Mr. Hendry. She won't be comforted.
Cheer up now. The chaplain's here to see.
Bear up, Mrs. Dyer. Please, try to calm yourself. Well, this isn't going to help you now.
She's been like this ever since Miss Marmon gave evidence, crying her heart out.
Please, Mrs. Dyer, try to be brave. Well, crying isn't going to solve anything, is it? You must try to pull yourself together.
Come along now. Mr. Hendry's right, my dear.
You know, often, when one feels completely alone, that no one cares, we forget that someone is always with us. Jesus is there to help and comfort us. He will always forgive us, however grievous our sin, if we come to him with a lowly and contrite heart. You know that, my friend, don't you? Would you like me to read to you? The scripture for today. Mark 10, verses 13 to 16. And they brought young children to him, that he should touch them. And his disciples rebuked those that brought them. But when Jesus saw it, he was much displeased, and said unto them, Suffer the little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for of such is the kingdom of God. Verily I say unto you, whosoever shall not receive the kingdom of God as a little child, he shall not enter therein. And he took them up in his arms, laid his hands upon them, and blessed them.
Thank you, Reverend. That's my very favourite Bible story.
Yes, sir, I went to Mayo Road, Wilson, to make sure it would be a proper home for little Harry.
Forgive me, madam, if I appear a little obtuse, but who exactly was little Harry?
He was my foster son, my lord. His natural mother was a poor unfortunate creature, not able to look...
Yes, and you fostered him for reward?
Oh, yes, my lord. Well, you have to live, don't you?
Why did you decide to relinquish care of little Harry?
Well, the mother never gave me no more money, so I decided to place him in a good Christian home.
And what impression did you form?
Oh, it seemed to be a good Christian home, sir. Mrs. Harding was...
Mrs. Harding?
Well, they're in the dock, sir. Mrs. Harding was wearing a Salvation Army bonnet. And there was a lovely text on the wall, all done in poker work. Suffer little children to come unto me. And there was a Bible, sir, on top of the piano, open at the Book of Psalms.
Was anyone else present in the prisoner's house on this occasion?
Yes, it was a young lady, very smart she was. She was nursing a dear little baby.
Do you see that young lady here today?
Yes, sir. That's her in the circle, up there.
Anyone else?
There was an old dear in a rocking chair. Now, I took her to be the grandmother. And a nice little chap in a sailor suit. Most obliging he was, running errands for his gran. And a dear little Harry over the very next day to the prisoner and her daughter, under the clock at Paddington Station.
Did you give the prisoner any money?
Well, I didn't have the £10 as arranged, but well, after a bit of discussion, like, the daughter said she'd accept £5 on account.
And before another sun had set, that poor little mite, Harry Simmons, had joined little Doris Marmon in her watery grave at Caversham Lock. The prisoner was arrested on the 4th of April last year, and 2 weeks later wrote from her prison cell this letter to the Superintendent of Police. Dear Sir, will you kindly grant me the favour...
Dear Sir, will you kindly grant me the favour of presenting this to the magistrate on Saturday, the 18th inst. Yes. I must relieve my mind. I do not know and feel my days are numbered, but I do feel it is an awful thing drawing innocent people into trouble. I-double-N. Innocent people into trouble.
I don't know about being innocent if ever I set my eyes upon a serpent.
Oh, hold your tongue. She's my daughter, isn't she? She's all I've got. I do know I shall have to answer before my Maker in heaven for the awful crimes I have committed. But as God Almighty is my judge in heaven as on earth, neither my daughter, Mary Ann Palmer, nor her husband, Arthur Ernest Palmer, I do most solemnly swear that neither of them had anything at all to do with it. They knew I contemplated doing such a wicked thing
They
until...
never knew.
They never knew. I contemplated doing such a wicked thing until too late. I am speaking the truth and nothing but the truth, as I hope to be forgiven. I myself and I alone must stand before my Maker in heaven to give an answer for it all. Now, doesn't that sound just beautiful? Then I never had the education. My Polly's a real lady, you know.
Witness my hand, Amelia Dyer.
One thing troubles me, Mr. Lawrence. This seems... Well, this is an extraordinarily cogent and literate letter to emanate from a woman of the labouring classes. Tell me, did the prisoner receive any visitors while in custody between the date of her arrest and the date of this letter?
Upon that matter, my lord, I have no instructions.
Perhaps I may assist your lordship. During that period, my client received daily visits from her daughter, her son-in-law, and, of course, the police.
Polly! Oh, Polly, I've done it all for you!
If the prisoner is not silent, I shall have her removed.
You are Mary Ann Palmer, the wife of Arthur Ernest Palmer, and daughter of the accused?
Yes, sir.
You are known as Polly, are you not?
A childhood nickname, sir.
Mrs. Palmer, you are much attached to your mother, are you not?
Why, yes, sir, of course. She's always been a good mother to me.
And you've always lived with her, have you not? At various addresses, mainly in the West Country.
Yes, sir.
And after your marriage in Cardiff, was it not? Your husband joined the family circle?
Yes, sir. That was early in 1891.
Last year, that is to say in 1895, you were all living together. First at Piggott's Road, Caversham in Wiltshire, and latterly at Mayo Road, Willesden in northwest London.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Did anyone else live there with you?
Yes, sir. Granny Smith and little Willie Thornton, sir.
Was anyone else living there with you?
No, sir. Oh, except for the dear little babies. We were all one big happy family.
The dear little baby. And how many dear little babies were living with you at Piggott's Road, Caversham?
I'm not certain, sir. Well, I mean to say, one little baby's very much like another, isn't it?
To you, perhaps, madam, but probably not to its mother.
I'm much obliged to your lordship. Mrs. Palmer, how did the babies in question come to lodge with your mother and the rest of you at your many and various addresses?
Well, sir, my mother's got a very kind heart, sir. She was always taking in the waifs and strays. Wasn't only babies. She adopted Granny Smith, and she must be pushing 80. Adopted her straight from the Bristol workhouse. And little Willie Thornton. He's been with us 3 years now.
From 8 days to 80 years, she took them all in. Mrs. Palmer, it's clear that Granny Smith and little Willie Thornton blossomed as the green bay tree under the beneficent regime at Piggott's Road, Caversham, Mayo Road, Willesden, and other addresses. But tell us this. What became of the babes in arms? What became of Doris Marmon?
Was that the dear little baby from Cheltenham, my lord?
That was one of the dear little babies whose bodies were recovered from Caversham Lock, madam.
I'm sorry, my lord. It's so difficult to remember them all.
It's so difficult to remember them all.
I'm sorry, my lord. That was the little baby in the fawn cloak. Yes, my lord, I remember her well. A dear little thing.
The prisoner entered into some correspondence with this infant's mother, did she not, before adoption was agreed?
Yes, my lord. The advertiser wants a dear little baby girl, one I can bring up and call my own. We are honest people in fairly good circumstances. We have no children, but do not want one for money's sake. My husband and I will give the child a parent's love. We are Church of England folk and will do our duty as such.
Was that the prisoner's letter, madam? Or something that you wrote on her behalf?
I helped her a little, my lord. Her eyesight not being what it was. I'm sorry we said we were Church of England, my lord. That wasn't strictly true. But the young woman seemed a girl of good family. Well, what I mean to say is the Salvation Army does good work, we all know. But it is more for the labouring classes. Yes, sir. I was with her when she received the baby Harry Simmons at Paddington Station, by arrangement under the clock.
And after you'd collected the baby, did you all return to Mayo Road, Willesden?
Yes, sir.
And on the way back to Willesden, did your mother say anything in particular?
Yes, sir. The baby was playing her up, grizzling and crying and that. My mother said, "The little devil, I can't stand this much longer."
The little devil, I can't stand this much longer.
Yes, my lord. I'm afraid that's what she said. But he was a big child, 13 months and very heavy.
And when you got back to Mayo Road, Willesden, what did your mother do with the baby?
She put him to sleep on the sofa. Nice and cosy, under her big plaid shawl.
And the baby, Doris Marmon, presumably she was in the house too. She'd only arrived the day before.
I can't remember anything about that.
And when the baby Harry Simmons was asleep, where did you all go?
We went to the music hall. The Empire, sir. Kilburn High Road. My mother, my husband and myself.
And in the morning?
In the morning, my mother asked me to carry her carpet bag to Paddington Station. She said she was off to Caversham once again.
And what was your answer to that request?
I said to her straight, "Mother, you carry it yourself. What are the neighbours going to say? Arriving with 2 babies and leaving with none?" She said, "Never mind the neighbours, think of some excuse." In the end, young Willie helped us to the station with it.
Usher, exhibit number 3, if you please. Mrs. Palmer, is that the carpet bag which little Willie Thornton helped your mother carry to Paddington Station?
Yes, sir.
The travelling coffin, as it has been described, later to be recovered from Caversham Lock.
Madam, Your mother has 3 times been certified insane, has she not?
Yes, sir. She has been in an asylum 2 or 3 times.
In 1891, she was admitted to Wells Lunatic Asylum, was she not, after attempting to drown herself in a ditch?
Yes, sir.
1894, she was admitted to Gloucester Asylum and placed in a padded cell.
Yes, sir. They treated her worse than a dog.
In 1894, she was again admitted to Bristol Asylum on this occasion, where she attacked the superintendent with a pair of scissors and had forcibly to be restrained.
It's true, sir. But she wasn't herself after all she'd suffered.
Is it true that in Reading jail she attempted to strangle herself with her pair of bootlaces?
Well, who could blame her, sir?
Mrs. Palmer, I'm sorry to put this painful question to you, but you've spoken of your mother's melancholic tendency.
Yes, sir. I told you she'd been in an asylum.
Yes, sir. Is it true that her mother, your grandmother, died in an insane asylum?
Yes, sir. It runs in the family.
You spoke up for me so beautiful, Polly, darling.
Come along, Mother dear. Feed the ducks.
Quite right there. She always did love a duck.
Yes, I've been going down the river for years to feed the dear little ducklings. God love them. Look at the dear little creatures. Come along, then. Stuff your dear little faces.
You're doing fine, Mother. But save a bit for them upstairs.
Don't waste your breath, Pole. Anyone looking at her can see she's as mad as a March hare. Just try sticking a bit of straw in her hair.
I would advise you to hold your tongue, Mr. Palmer. You were fortunate enough not to be in that dock alongside your mother-in-law. There are still many other crimes they can charge you with.
Oh, yes? Just tell me what.
Well, like attempting to pervert the course of justice.
Don't make me laugh, you stupid illiterate old cow. If they decide to top her they will, and there's nothing that you, nor my lady wife, nor I can do about it.
Moderate your language, my dear.
Hey?
Sir, I would remind you that...
Jesus bids us shine with a clear, pure light, like a little candle burning in the night. In this world of darkness, so must we shine. You in your small corner, and I...
Cut it out, Mother. You never could sing.
And smoking is against prison regulations.
So is your face. You're hideous. Come along, Pole.
Put up Amelia Elizabeth Dyer.
We've left some gin at the gate. Goodbye, Mother dear.
Come along now. Time to go upstairs again.
Why did you have to go and upset him like that? He's a good boy, really, Herr Arthur. I know he's a lot younger than Polly, but Polly loves him, and if anything happens to me, he's all my Polly's got.
You are Dr. Forbes Winslow. You are a Bachelor of Medicine and a member of the Royal College of Physicians.
I am.
And do you have more than 25 years' experience in the examination and treatment of the insane?
I have.
And did you earlier this month conduct a series of interviews with the prisoner in Newgate Jail?
I did.
Was Dr. Scott, Principal Medical Officer at the prison, also present at those interviews?
He was.
And as a result of those interviews, what conclusions did you form?
I formed the conclusion that the prisoner was a person of unsound mind, unable to comprehend the nature or quality of her acts.
Dr. Forbes Winslow, would you be so good as to tell my lord and the jury what you found upon examination?
I found the patient to be suffering from melancholia and delusional insanity. There was no excitement, but there were delusions and there were hallucinations. She was suffering from hallucinations in that she told me she had heard the birds whispering to her.
Good gracious me. Wherever should the birds whisper?
That was the very question that I asked her, my lord. Her answer was, you wouldn't expect them to shout. In my experience, it is very common for persons who commit murder to hear voices urging them to commit the crime.
That doesn't particularly impress me, Dr. Forbes Winslow. Many people commit murder, but do not claim to have heard voices, you know.
That may well be so, my lord, but in those cases I am not called upon to examine them. The hallucinations weren't confined to the hearing of voices. The prisoner told me that she had seen visions of her deceased mother and son. At a second interview, she spoke of taking their bones out of their coffins, and she spoke of a vision of hell too terrible to communicate. I asked her if she had any recollection of these crimes for which she stands accused. She told me she had none, that she was totally mystified. I loved the dear little babe, she said, and only wanted the best for them.
Did you consider the possibility that she might have been feigning insanity in a desperate attempt to save her life?
Indeed I did, sir, and considered the possibility very seriously.
And to what conclusion did you come?
That this was no play acting. The pattern of the patient's symptoms was too fixed, too consistent to have been a mere charade or attempt at make-believe. No, in my view, the impairment of her reason made her totally unaware of the nature or quality of these acts.
You are Dr. James Scott, and you are a prison officer in Her Majesty's Prison Service?
I am.
During the past 5 weeks, the prisoner has been under your care, and you've had the opportunity of observing her daily?
That is correct.
What is your view of her mental condition?
She is as sane as you and I, sir. Only 10 times more cunning.
You were present, were you not, when Dr. Forbes Winslow examined the patient?
I was.
And you've heard his evidence given in this court?
Yes, sir, I did.
What is your comment upon
It's a load of tommy rot, sir. My lord, please pardon the expression, I'm a plain man. I like to express myself plainly. The woman is putting it on.
But she told you that she heard voices.
Yeah, well, they all hear voices. Dr. Forbes Winslow doesn't have to live amongst them as I do.
They all hear voices,
Yeah.
and how do you account for that?
Their conscience, most like, telling them to mend their ways. They're criminals, you know. Common criminals. They're not young ladies in a boarding school.
I'll not give my name or address. I don't want no fingers pointing at me saying, there goes my dire sister.
Then write it down, my good woman, and the jury can see for themselves what it is.
Thank you, my lordship.
Forgive me, sir. My eyes is not what they was.
Thank you.
What is it you wish to tell the court?
She should never have told such lies about our sainted mother. She didn't die in no asylum. She died in her bed, in the arms of the Lord, in the safe and certain knowledge of her salvation. And as for her, maybe I haven't seen her for 25 years, but she's not mad neither. Bright as a new fruitny bit, that's our Amelia. It just so happens she's downright wicked as well. And she always has been, predestined to damnation since the day she was born.
Gentlemen of the jury, I beg you to dismiss from your minds all that you have heard or read of this case, and to eliminate all the feelings of horror which you must feel, especially if you are fathers, at the deaths of these unfortunate children. Now, there can be no doubt that the assertion of insanity has not been manufactured for this case. It has been proved that my client was frequently confined in lunatic asylums in recent years and has attempted to commit suicide. Now, you may think, gentlemen, that there is some morbid significance in the fact that all these attacks came on at the same time of year as the winter, when also these dreadful crimes were committed. Persons so afflicted are often compelled by their mania to kill and injure those nearest and dearest to them. In this case, it has been shown that my client was kind and affectionate to the infants that she adopted.
I'm sorry, Mr. Capadia. I cannot permit that comment to go before the jury unchallenged. You will recall the evidence of Mrs. Palmer, the prisoner's own daughter, that she, the prisoner, grew very impatient with the infant Harry Simmons. I made a note of it at the time and said on the way back to Mayo Road, Willesden, "The little devil, I can't stand this much longer." Within hours of that remark, that infant had met his death at your client's hands.
My lord, there can be few mothers alive who could, in all honesty, put their hands on their hearts and swear that no such sentiment ever crossed their minds.
That may be so, Mr. Capadia, though I must confess I don't share your understanding of the female mentality. But even from your position of superior knowledge, you have to admit that very few mothers go round murdering their babies.
Very well, my lord.
That said, Jack, is that? The old boy's done my job for me. She's well and truly in the bag.
10 to 1, I'd say.
100 to 1. Well, I'm off to my club. You tell him the tale, my boy, tell him the tale. Drone on a bit about public policy.
These acts were not those of a sane person.
The prisoner's acts have been of the most wicked and diabolical nature. It was only when she was arrested and her guilt thoroughly established that she turned and feigned insanity in order to avoid the consequences of her acts. Gentlemen of the jury, if such a defense were allowed to prevail, no murderer would ever again be convicted, and lunatic asylums would have to be substituted for jails. It would be trifling with the law and with common sense if you were to adopt this woolly-minded, liberal view of insanity urged on the prisoner's behalf.
Gentlemen of the jury, it is clear that since 1891, the prisoner has, for short periods, been confined in various lunatic asylums, suffering from some temporary unsoundness or unhinging of the mind. It was, of course, perfectly proper for Mr. Capadia to introduce evidence relating to these earlier episodes, and it is for you to make of them exactly what you will. For you, gentlemen, and you alone, are the judges of fact. Mr. Capadia has argued that these earlier episodes indicate some history of insanity or manic illness on the part of the prisoner. However, it may just cross your minds, or it may not, as the case may be, that Mr. Capadia has introduced a double-edged sword, and that these episodes are as much consistent with a long history of cunning and duplicity as with madness. Could it not be, each time a baby has disappeared and a hue and cry has been raised, that the prisoner has conveniently put herself out of harm's way? But of course, gentlemen, that is a matter entirely for you. Well, gentlemen of the jury, in conclusion, may I say that there is only one issue here, and that is an extremely simple one. Has the defense proved its case? You will, of course, give due weight to the medical evidence tendered on the part of the Crown and of the prisoner. But at the end of the day, you must yourselves decide whether the prisoner did willfully murder little Doris Marmon and little Harry Simmons. And if so, whether at that time she was so insane as not to be responsible for her actions. Gentlemen, will you kindly consider your verdict?
The upstanding.
My lord, we do not feel it necessary to retire.
You have come to a decision?
We have, my lord.
Let the prisoner be brought back into court. the prisoner stand.
Members of the jury, are you agreed upon your verdict?
We are.
Do you find the prisoner, Amelia Elizabeth Dyer, guilty or not guilty of murder?
Guilty.
Do you find her plea of insanity proved or not proved?
Not proved.
And is that the verdict of you all?
It is.
Thank you, gentlemen. You may be seated. The formalities will not take long.
Prisoner at the bar, you have been found guilty of murder. Have you anything to say why sentence should not be passed upon you according to law?
Prisoner at the bar, you have been found guilty on as conclusive evidence as it is possible to imagine of the willful murder of that poor little girl that you took from her mother and whom you professed to take to your own home, which was to be the child's home. You did not take that hapless infant there at all, but you slaughtered her that very same night. I wish I could suppose that your wickedness and cruelty stopped there, but I am sorely afraid that you have carried out a wicked and cruel system of crime for a long time past. Prisoner at the bar, you will be taken hence to a place of imprisonment, and from thence to a place of lawful execution, where you will be hanged by the neck until you are dead. 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 And your body will afterwards be buried in the precincts of the prison to which you shall be taken. And may the Lord have mercy on your soul.
Amen.
The upstanding. All persons having further business before my lords, the Queen Justices of Oya and Termina, and General James Delivery for the jurisdiction of the Central Criminal Court, may depart hence and give their attendance tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. God save the Queen.
I'm sorry, sir, but she's a poor, wretched sinner, you know. Myself, I blame the drink. Yes, I definitely blame the drink. The demon drink, the devil's instrument.
I'm sorry, my friend. It has been a long and wretched day. I could not stomach another sermon. However, I shall contribute to your excellent cause, and then I shall adjourn to my club. That's the Reform, of course, where I intend to comfort myself with a large libation. May I offer you a shilling?
God bless you, sir. I'm very much obliged, and the army will be grateful too. Sir...
Is there something on your mind?
Well, yes, sir. It's just that I wanted to shake you by the hand and thank you for all you've done. Oh, you spoke up so beautiful-like. It was a great pity they didn't take no heed of your argument. But then she's only got herself to blame for that. You see, sir, I was a sinner myself. Worked in the music hall, yes, indeed I did. Then I saw the light. I saw the light. Sir, she should never have taken to the liquor. Never. Sir, I'm the husband in the case. Mrs. Dyer's husband.
Good grief, man, then. Well, your place is by her side. Go and comfort her. She'll still be in the cells below. There's little enough time left.
God bless you, sir. God bless you.
The Queen will reprieve you. Just you wait and see. The Queen's a mother and a grandmother herself. She'll reprieve you. She knows you only done it for the best.
Only done it for the best. You didn't want the poor little mites to suffer.
That's right, dearie. I've always said you're better off dead. Oh, my God, look what the cat's brought in.
Amelia, I exhort you to think of your eternal salvation.
Hark at him after 25 years.
Amelia, your time is short.
Hold your tongue, sir.
Oh, don't be like that, dearie. The poor old sod's only trying to cheer us up. Give us a song, Willie. A nice hymn. You know, like you sing to your pals down at the vinegar factory.
My dear, it would be a pleasure. Shall we gather at the river where bright angel feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God. And now, sisters, the chorus. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful, the river.
Time to say goodbye
with the
to the
saints
gentlemen.
at the river.
And your daughter will be allowed to
by the
visit you in the
throne of
morning.
God. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful, the river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God.
For weeks. 3 whole Sundays and she ain't never been to see me. Maybe she's hurt herself. Maybe she's sick. Maybe she's dead.
If there was any justice, that's what she'd be. She'd be the one to be sitting here.
Don't you never talk about my Polly like that. She's a good girl and deserves better.
How can you say that?
You don't need the brains of Mr. Gladstone to see she puts you up to it.
I've told you before, don't you never talk about my daughter like that. She's a good girl. She's a lady. She's got the whole of her life to look forward to.
What about your life?
My life don't matter. I'm an old woman and I'm better off dead.
But you don't have to be dead. Just one little word to us and we'll get in the governor. You tell him the truth and he'll fix you a reprieve.
Look, dearie, I know you don't mean no harm, but please, keep out of this. This little matter is strictly between Polly and me. What good would a reprieve be to me? Stuck in here for the rest of me natural without sight or sound of her? I've told you I'd rather be dead. Listen, I've written her a letter. At least she'll have this to remember me by. My darling Polly, I hope that this finds you, as it leaves me, in the very best of health. It's beautiful weather, isn't it, for the time of year? But I do confess that I find myself a bit on the chilly side come evening. Polly, you could have brought me my old carpet slippers or a drop of gin to warm me through, but never mind. I expect that you are very busy and have other things to do. Polly, everything I done for you. You was different somehow. You was born to be a lady and deserved better. Polly, I gave you a mother's love. Make a good life for yourself, girl. Must close now. My best to Arthur and the dear little babies. God love them. We will all be together on the other side. Your affectionate mother, A. Dyer. Well, now I've at least eased my mind. I have at least done one good thing in my life. I don't mind dying in the morning. I mean, I ain't got nothing left to live for. Polly's all I had. All I ever had. Everything I done for her.
There.
Ta. Will you join me? Jesus wants me for a sunbeam to shine for him each day. In every way try to please him, at home, at school, at play. A sunbeam, Jesus wants me for a sunbeam, a sunbeam, a sunbeam. I'll be a sunbeam for him. Jesus wants me for a sunbeam to shine for him each day. In every way try to please him, at home, at school, at play. A sunbeam, Jesus wants me for a sunbeam, a sunbeam, a sunbeam. I'll be a sunbeam for him.
The following morning, Mrs. Dyer was hanged. Her goods were put up for public auction and realized the lordly sum of £7 and 2 shillings. 18 months later, Polly and her husband were found guilty of abandoning a baby under the seat of a railway carriage at Newton Abbot station. They were sentenced to 3 years' hard labor of peace and were never heard of again. But after that, British babies slept more securely in their cots.